Grande espíritu, grande abuelo, grande abuela, como soy me presento ante ti. Como soy te pido bendiciones y agradezco el corazón que puso en mí. No más vengo, no más vengo, no más vengo. Grande espíritu, tú sabrás a lo que vengo. A entregar mi corazón, corazón que es lo único que tengo. Let's take a deep breath. Observe your physical perception, your position. Make yourself comfortable. And put one hand in contact with your chest to perceive your clothes, your physical body, your presence and your material reality. Now we can begin our trip from the outside universe to the inside universe. We bring our attention to the surroundings, the faraway sounds and the near ones. We recognize them, give them a name, orientation, speed, quality. And we also observe our brain transforming these inputs into specific information. We bring our attention now to the perfumes and smells that embrace us. One more time, we observe, recognize, and give a name to those emotions and chemical memories that these perfumes and smells are bringing to us. And we will allow ourselves to travel with them, through them, without time and without space. And now we will observe and perceive the temperature in the space where we are. Through our skin and also the warmth of our body through the contact with our hand in the chest. Through our skin, we will perceive now the contact with the clothes, and we will recognize the weight of our body sitting or laying. And now we will use our breath to dive from the outside universe to the inside universe. Through the respiratory system, we will fulfill our lungs of oxygen and we will release the dioxin. During this process, we will observe the miracle of our respiratory system that brings our outside universe to the inside. We bring oxygen and nourishment to our body, fitting our thoughts with air, and we will release our mental, chemical, and physical toxins through our exhalation. In the next inspiration, we will shift from the respiratory system to our circulatory system. We will dive with the oxygen molecules inside of the circulatory system. We breathe in and we swift. Now we can dive into our veins and arteries, visiting all our physical body, organs, cells, systems. We breathe in, bringing light, regenerating, and bringing nourishment to each part of our body. We breathe in and we breathe out. And now we can visualize one single cell. And in the next inspiration, during the apnea moment, we will jump into a single cell, into an atomic level. We breathe in and we jump. Inside of a cell, we can observe electrons, protons, and neutrons, and the space between. Being atomic, we can dive into the cell space. We will dive till we find the nucleus of the cell. And when we get there, we can feel, touch, and perceive the surface of the nucleus. In the next inspiration, during the apnea moment, we will jump into the nucleus of the cell, into a subatomic level. We breathe in and we jump. We are in the nucleus of the cell. This is our soul dimension. Here we are free of time and space. Here we can find our soul truth. We can recognize our essence and remember the capacities we have gave to ourselves before incarnation. Here we have access to new instruments and all we can need for our growth and to get to our mission in life. Remember that our mission is and is going to be always to be completely ourselves and happy. This is our inside universe. Here we are. The soul dimension is perceived as a full and empty space where we can float and be everything at the same time. Here we find the voice of our truth. Here we are into the universe. We are the one. Allow yourself to perceive the calmness, the silence, the beauty. And remember that to bring your attention back to your soul dimension, we will use the apnea as a bridge to come back to this dimension every time we want. We open the emergency field when we prepare to observe, accept, and pass through, increasing the frequency of our energy. We take a deep breath, and in the next inspiration, we will jump into the first layer of our reality. We breathe in and we jump. We are in the first layer of our reality to go back into the material level. Universe. Here we can work with our physical, biological our presence in the soul dimension, organs, systems from our soul through our body. Here we can work with our material reality from our aura, objects, situations, and everything that we can touch and perceive with our senses outside. And we work with the people in our life, and we fulfill with those who make part of our present, our daily life, our skin, long and short term ones, because everyone has a message from our skin through our aura. This dimension is perceived as an outside pressure that squeezes us to the inside. It's the house of the fear, the anger, and all the survival instincts. Outside universe. Here we perceive the sounds into our body, smells, with uncomfortable points and painful the temperature ones, and the miracle of our breath, bringing outside our inside universe. To dive into this space, and before we need to open our eyes and we go back to our daily life, we need to connect with all those things that wants to be grateful with ourselves, and without fighting, every without time judging, and that without trying to avoid with our soul, we allow this information the whole universe to reach us, to touch us, to fulfill us. Thank you. Because the only way to get to the other side is to become. We breathe in, bringing our attention to our soul truth. We keep our apnea of presence to increase our awareness. And we expirate, releasing all our thoughts, beliefs, and judgments. We keep the apnea afterwards, receiving all the information that needs to arrive. Now we can repeat the cycle. We breathe in and integrate. We keep the apnea of presence. we repeat one more time. And in the next inspiration, during the apnea moment, we leave the physical level of our reality to jump into the subtle level of our reality. We breathe in and we jump. We are in the subtle level of our reality. Here we work with everything that is invisible for our senses. We work with this huge power of a domain, influence, and structure, everything, and rules, everything in our physical level of reality, as opinions, judgments, beliefs, values, ideals. This dimension is perceived as a cold energy that makes us feel divided from the universe, nature, others, ourselves, and even from our own truth. Into this dimension lives the anxiety and the impotence, where we feel victims of the life that happens in front of us. One more time, to pass through this dimension, we open ourselves, we offer ourselves with humble respect, and we connect with all those things that needs to be seen. We allow them to reach us, touch us, and fulfill us with their information. We will use the breath cycle to dive on it. We breathe in, bringing our attention to our soul truth. We receive, we observe whatever it comes to me. It can be images, sounds, memories, events. We keep the apnea of presence, observing. And with the exhalation, we will leave everything to see what is behind. We keep the apnea to see the answers, and we breathe in to integrate them. We keep the presence, we observe, we keep the apnea, and we exhalate, releasing our thoughts and beliefs. We keep the apnea of emptiness, allowing the soul truth to manifest. And we repeat this cycle one more time. And we prepare now to leave the subtle level of reality to get into the archetypal level. In the next inspiration, during the apnea moment, we jump together. We are now in the archetypal field of our reality, the matrix, the architect of our life. Here we can find an ocean of information, all the wisdom of the universe, and the answers to all our questions. This dimension is perceived as a wide, thick, full dimension, but as incarnated human beings, under the law of time and space, we cannot grasp any answer. So, to work into this high frequency field, we visualize ourselves floating in an ocean of wisdom. With a humble and respectful behavior, we open ourselves, we offer our ignorance and our beliefs, and we surrender to the universal wisdom to meditate, to receive the message of the universe. This level has such a high frequency that is very hard to understand from the first moment. So just try to create the emptiness we need to be fulfilled by the universe message and allow it to transform you. We use the breath cycle to help us. We breathe in, going back to our soul truth. We keep our apnea of presence to be aware, to perceive, to receive. And during the expiration, we release our thoughts, our beliefs, and our expectations. We keep the apnea of emptiness, allowing the soul truth to manifest. And we inspire again to integrate what it comes. And we prepare now to leave the archetypal level of our emergency field, to emerge into the possibility dimension. In the next inspiration, during the apnea moment, we will jump together into a continuous present dimension. We fulfill our body with light and wisdom, and we jump together. We are in the possibility dimension. Here, everything that we can believe or emanate can be materialized. So we will take our material reality and we will ask to vibrate in the highest frequency as possible. In this way, all our body, cells, material reality, and people in our life will resonate in coherence with our truth, allowing others to increase their own frequencies as well. And we will take our subtle reality and we will ask it to vibrate in the highest frequency as possible. In this way, all my emotions and experiences will bring me to grow, transform myself into a highest level of awareness, releasing the old patterns because I will not need to keep repeating them. Allowing myself, I allow also others to get into a conscious communication that will be manifested. And we take our archetypal level and we will ask to vibrate in the highest frequency as possible, to recover our deep connection to intuition, to remember our ancient knowledge, to deserve a stable connection with the answers of the universe, asking as well that this answer to be so clear, do not have any doubts about them. In this way, I will become a seed of awakening for others. And finally, we will say to our soul that this is the dimension that I'm creating. This is the reality that I want to live. This is where I want to keep my conscious and increase my energy to a higher level of awareness. In the next inspiration, we will transmute ourselves into light from our soul through our body, emanating from our aura. We will bring our inside universe to the outside universe. We expand. And we expand still. And now we listen to the sounds again. We will perceive the perfumes and we will smell them. We will recognize again the temperature around us. And we will become again fully present and aware. And before we open our eyes, we dedicate 1 second to be grateful to ourselves, because every time that we connect with our soul truth, we allow ourselves to receive the answers of the universe. Thank you.